And I mean, everything that you've done, man, all of our veterans, we just truly, truly appreciate all of your hard work and dedication and everything that you went through. You had to go through boot camp. You had to go through AIT or your form of boot camp. It's not everybody's not the Army, which you should have been, but everybody couldn't be the Army. So just your process and the way that you did your thing and thrive through it all. We appreciate you, man. From the veteran, the homeless veteran, to the veteran that it has a multi-million-dollar company, man. Thank you to everything that you've done so much. All right. My name is Ramon, Hometown Heat here, Brother Bear, and also Misty Von B are out today. And so, of course, man, we love and appreciate Misty Von B and Brother Bear. We wanted to let you know about Spreading Hope. It's happening back to school bash right here with KBOB. And of course, more of our great sponsors. A drive through Saturday, August the 21st at 10 a.m. from 2 p.m. at the 36th Street North Event Center is going to happen. 1125 East 36th Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And if you are just not familiar with Tulsa and North Tulsa, 36 and Peoria, 36 in North Peoria is where you're going to be. You're going to see a long line. So if you have any children that have unique special needs, families, man, make sure you get the word out and let them know if they have any special needs. We definitely want to take care of them and help them so much. All right. And you know how we do it on our show right here, man. We always got to give you motivational words. We've got to give you new insight. So this right here, I'm introducing a new speaker to y'all today. His name is Jeremy Anderson, and he's a very, very effective communicator. So this right here is to help you to break through right here. It's all about your value. So that's one thing, one word you're going to hear for the rest of your life is value. And that's what we're trying to add right here. So my guy, Jeremy Anderson, he's going to deliver this to you right here. So enjoy.
This is a dollar bill. Now, if I go to the store and there's something for 90 cents, can I buy it with this dollar bill? Okay, all right. So if I go to the store and there's something for 85 cents and after tax, it ends up being 96 cents, can I buy it with this dollar bill? Okay, all right. So what if I ball the dollar bill up? Think about it now. Like, I just balled the dollar bill up, like, so it can't be worth $1 now. It's probably worth like 95 cents, right? How much you think it's worth? $1. Listen, y'all gotta pay attention. I just balled it up, so clearly it's not worth $1 anymore. All right, so maybe, what if I step on it? What if I stomp it? I just stomped it. How much is it worth now? Maybe 65 cents, 68 cents? It's still worth $1? Okay, what if I ball it up? What if I stomp on it and then I put it in the trash can and it's in here with some trash and it's around some beer and some gum and a bunch of other nasty stuff, and some guy off the street pulls the dollar out, unfolds it. How much is it worth now? Maybe 82 cents? Come on, at least 92 cents? It's okay, all right, so what if I ball it up? What if I step on it? What if I put it in trash and then, watch this, I tear it in half? Think about it now, right? How much is it worth now? $1? I could tape it? Whoa. Shh. Wait. Wait a second. I just balled it up. I just stepped on it. I put it in trash. I pulled it out. Then I tore it in half. And you mean to tell me I could pick the dollar up, I could wipe it off, and I could put some tape around it, and it's still worth $1? Then why, if this dollar doesn't lose its worth or its value, then why do you feel like you've lost your worth of value? Because many of you feel like you've been stepped on, you feel like you've been pushed aside, you feel like you've been abandoned, you feel like you've been talked about, you feel like you've been abused, like someone took from you, someone hurt you, somebody took advantage of you, and deep down inside your core, you feel like you've lost some of your value. And I am here to tell you today that this dollar still has worth and value, because there are some men years ago who put value over this life and said that no matter what happens to it, it can still be taped back together. It can still be wiped off. And I am here to tell you that you were created and you're born and you're here and you have life and you have purpose and you have value. And though you've gone through some hard times and though you've experienced some depression and you might be wanting to hurt yourself and you might want to give up, I am here to tell you still got worth and value. And there is nothing that can happen that can take your worth and your value away. So what you got to do now is you got to pick yourself up. You got to dust yourself off and you got to keep moving.
Yeah, man, right there is Jeremy Anderson. Now you have to know, no matter what happens to you in your life, that you have a lot of a great value, man. Now, of course, even when you were a child, when you were in your mom's womb, man, you had value, and that value has not changed since you were a child, man. Just because that life has happened to you and challenges that have happened to you, but that doesn't mean that you're not valuable. You're still here, man. COVID is still like around, and people aren't here every single day, man. But the fact that you are still here, it means so much. And for you to understand how much value you actually have and the change that you can make, it's just changing your mentality, being grateful every single day. And also just cherishing family, man. I think that's very important to where I think you see even everybody has seen, but even the more, I think people need to understand how much you need to cherish family, man. So, again, man, life has happened to you, challenges have happened to you, but you still have so much value, man. So, just know that you do. And we appreciate you for who you are, and to know that even 10 years from now you won't be the same person that you are today. So like life goes on and you get better, you progress on, but we need you to understand that about other people too, man. There are people that are out there that may not be at their best, in the moment that you see them, but you got to give them that opportunity to have some growth in their life, man, and be patient with people. So that's what we really need from you, is just patience with yourself and other people. So yeah, all right, I'm off my soapbox now, man. But I'm so excited to have a gentleman here with me today. I discovered him through Eddie Brasco's podcast, and he was talking about the Black Townships, man. And that's been something that has been near and dear to my heart. And saw him, reached out to him. He's been on the Juice Radio Show, but this is his very first time here on Left, Right, Left, the Veteran Show. And everybody, I want to introduce to y'all the young Black mayor, man. Welcome to the show, bro.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, no doubt, man. So how you feeling today?
Feeling pretty good, man.
Good.
Really good. It's always a good vibe when I come into Tulsa.
Dope.
Yeah,
man.
No doubt.
Good. So okay, so you're the young Black mayor. Let's introduce yourself for those that don't know you, but who you are. Like, introduce why you say you are the young Black mayor.
Absolutely. My name is Derek Edie Smith Jr. Mm-hmm. I am a native of Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
And young Black mayor basically represents me being a servant.
Okay.
I'm assisting the traditional mayors that are in place of the 13 Black towns in every way that I can to reestablish and revitalize the Black towns. And so that's what the young Black mayor is. That's who he is. It's very much about motivating the youth to step into formal positions of leadership in our community.
That's good.
A lot ahead of time than what we typically think we're supposed to, or that we're allowed to, or that we can.
Yeah.
When you hear mayor, your mind probably goes to elder. And so young
like
Black mayor.
Yeah. And so when you say formal, like, break that down. When you say you try to get them in a formal place, like,
right. So I have actually ran for public office.
Oh wow, okay.
I've had a position as a assistant mayor, and this is when I was in my 20s.
Oh wow.
And so that's what I mean by formal positions, and even class president at your school.
Wow. So you've always been a leader.
Yeah, sometimes we don't. Well, I wasn't class president, but the youngsters in terms of formal positions of leadership.
I understand.
Yeah, I didn't realize when I was young, this structure of class executives, class president, that's going to be the structure that's in place in business for the rest of our life, and in politics and everything. And so it's just motivating the youth to step in a lot earlier than what I did.
Man, and I really appreciate your work. Y'all will find out how deep he really is. Like, I really appreciate just even listening to him talk and really give his perspective on things. So the Black Towns Music and Media is coming together to bring the 13 Black Towns tour, and you're working with veterans. So talk a little bit about how you are supporting veterans through this program.
Right. So the 13 Black Towns are in need of a major revitalization. I founded the Black Towns Motorcycle Tour, which takes motorcycle riders to all 13 Black towns. And if they're really brave and want to make some noise for the towns, they'll do all 13 in one day. And so the Buffalo Soldiers Motorcycle Club, they are the largest motorcycle club nationwide. They're a Black club, and they are in service to our people. the majority of them are veterans or in law enforcement, and they
nice.
have come through in a major way to support this effort of mine, especially this year. But we've been in talks and working to get them on board for the past three years.
Yeah.
And so this year, the Buffalo Soldiers, major shout out to them. As veterans, the amount of work that they invest in our community nationwide through all the chapters, we really want to highlight them in their effort to help revitalize these black towns, which essentially are 13 black Wall Streets that still exist. So we've got the veterans coming through in a major way, and that will be reciprocated to veterans.
And you're one of the few that really looked at smaller towns and saw a lot more. Like, what made you think of like 13 black towns in Oklahoma? Why did you choose that pathway?
Well, it's very much a part of my purpose.
Okay.
But I was born in Lawton, Fort Sill, which is, one of our metropolitan areas, if you consider it to be that in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And my family and my roots go to Tatum's, Oklahoma, which is an hour away. So I was there, weekends, holidays, the summertime, of course. And I grew up in both environments, not really knowing the importance of the historically all black town or the history. And so it was kind of in me. And it just never eluded me. As I became an adult and went to chase my dreams, it just kind of chased me down and drug me back.
So I learned a lot about you, man. Like, you've been showing your record of just like your hip hop history for the long time, man. And I'm discovering just like how deeply respected as far as an MC you are, even at home, man. Like, talk a little bit about you being an MC, and I mean that too. Added that along.
So when I really got active, when I was about 18, 19, typically when we're able to get out on our own and we think we're grown, I was pursuing being a rap recording artist in a major way. However, no matter where I went throughout the United States, the spirit of the ancestors brought me right back here. At that point in time, I didn't even know about Black Wall Street yet. And as soon as I learned about Black Wall Street, I mean, it was over.
It lit a fire.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, rap and music, being an MC maybe just wasn't a priority to me. It wasn't the top priority anymore. It fell second to identity, because that's what I was always chasing as an artist anyway. I was wondering why, why artists from Oklahoma wasn't in the mainstream. And when I realized why, Black Wall Street, our history, that's really what's going to put you on. And we just didn't know who we were at the time. And so since then, I've been on that journey to find who I am.
That's dope, man. Because this 13 Black Towns tour really embodies, like, you can really see a lot of your thoughts and a lot of your even how you as an MC, like how rappers take tours, you know what I mean, and go to different places. So it's so dope. So 9-2 is Langston Cool Table Kickback and Seminar. It's with DJ Eddie Brosco and DJ Ology as well. Right. So why are you starting in Langston?
Yeah. So we're starting in Langston. Obviously, it's a university there, the furthest west of the HBCUs. Langston is the furthest west of the black towns in Oklahoma. And so it's kind of out of the way. Yeah. So in order logistically to make it work, we're starting in Langston first. But it's a very special place to start. Yeah. We're going to be at Curry Ballard's by the lake, which is Curry Ballard, former historian in residence of Langston. He won an Emmy for doing essentially what I'm doing today. Speaking and teaching history in a more active approach, through video and interviews like this. But we're starting there because it's just a great place to start, man, and logistically it makes sense.
So you got Rennieville, Tallahassee, Redbird, and Tatum's, and going to those places. Like, why did you choose those different towns, and like what makes it that? Was it logistics and why you chose it the way you did?
Yeah, so logistics was a part of it, but it's also the history of the communities that really are on board and receptive. Out of the towns, the ones that really stepped up the first time around. Those are the ones that I go back to because the people, they voiced and showed a need for our presence there. And so Tatum's, again, logistically, it's just like Langston. It's out of the way. It's down south, just 2 hours north of Dallas. And so that's where we end.
Oh, wow. Is it? Wow. I never knew that.
Just 2 hours north of Dallas, right off of I-35 in the heart of the Chickasaw Nation. And so the only black town there.
I'm glad you said Chickasaw Nation. So now you're well versed at this, and I appreciate this, but you're well versed at and correct me on the terminology, but I know that they are native people and who we are, and then there are also black people, um, to where they were slaves through the Trail of Tears,
Right.
and they came to Oklahoma. So break down how the black townships and the native nations
Right.
come together in a way. Like, can you
Yeah.
explain
So the black townships
that?
are a history that was made possible very much because of the intermingling of red and black people.
Okay.
And so the 5 civilized tribes were largely mixed blood groups of people before they were removed from their homelands and placed here in Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
And so they bought slaves along with them. They were mixed white ancestry and native ancestry,
Mm-hmm.
and it was split factions,
Mm-hmm.
but they were diverse. And so black slaves built the tribal nations once they got here. And up in the Creek Nation in 1850, the Creek tribe established a school for their enslaved children.
Wow.
And that very quickly turned into the black town of Tallahassee.
Wow.
And so just the intermingling of black and red people, with the land being in a possession and legally through the government belonging to Native Americans. It was so many of us here as well.
Yeah.
We got the opportunity to actually start our own towns and settlements.
Wow. So through that, we began our own towns and settlements. So what happened to a place to where, what in your perspective, like, what would you say what happened to the black townships and why they aren't thriving today?
A couple reasons. The first reason being the Great Depression,
Mm-hmm.
the Dust Bowl. Everybody kind of left. A lot of people left, had to
Yeah.
leave Oklahoma during that time.
Yeah.
But desegregation ultimately broke the black towns.
Yeah.
Our school system, all of our pride. Think about your mascot.
Yeah.
So all of our pride in our community, the school was the hub of that, especially in a black town because black kids couldn't get educated anywhere else. And once desegregation happened, they sent all the children and all the resources, outside of our community. That almost was the final straw. But in the more modern time frame, just not being educated on it, we don't have enough youth and youthful people that know the history and care enough to go back and rectify what has taken place.
And this is your life purpose in helping to do that, like to educate people, to show them different parts of Oklahoma and the black townships that were there, and getting them on track to knowing where they can do what they can do within those communities. What's the bigger picture for you with this Black Town 13 Black Town tours?
Yeah, so the tour is a way for people to learn the history, come and experience the actual infrastructure that is here with the towns. I mean, there's still buildings. Bowley was so successful. There's buildings early 1900s that you can still see. And the bigger picture for me is nationally and nationwide and even to worldwide, educating people on the legacy of the black towns. I've started the Move Black movement, which is the Black Town Freedom Movement. People need to know that black towns in America is where black people attain the highest level of freedom.
True.
Point blank, period.
True, yeah.
Like Black Wall Street. Difference is the black towns were independent. They wasn't surrounded by non-black authority to where they were able to be burned down. They were secluded and independent, strong and sustainable. That's why 13 still exists today. And we had over 100 at one point in time.
Wow.
Black towns and settlements in Oklahoma.
In Oklahoma?
Yeah. And so Oklahoma is the capital. But I want everybody nationwide to know the black towns where they're from, and to tap into that legacy, because if that's where we were most free, why are we not trying to get back to that?
Yeah, true. I mean,
even in just knowing, you can
Yeah.
establish an estate in one of these towns, even if you're not there on a regular basis, but you can establish a place for some of your people to go if ever needed. And when it comes to investment in business, we're at the highest level as a people ever. So, I mean, they're investing everywhere else. You got to come invest in your towns. We own this. We got to own this.
True.
Yeah.
So, I mean, going to these smaller black towns, because not everybody can travel and connect and really see the way that you see it. But, going into the towns, Langston is pretty much thriving. But going into the small black towns that are just like hanging on a string, like what does that look like? And like, how do you go in and be like, what how am I? I mean, what did you say to them to be like, I'm gonna assist y'all? Like, what did you do?
Well, I mean, I haven't done anything major yet.
Okay.
Yeah. In my own hometown, I've
Cool.
been working in my own community
Cool.
for over a decade
Cool.
in Tatum's, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
But some people may say I have done a lot so far just by establishing this. It's been a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
But I just go in with my heart open, man, just ready to be a servant. And so I guess anybody that's coming to serve, like, typically they're gonna welcome you with open arms.
True. Yeah, so, they like, we need more hands, man.
Right. So that's all I said. It's just my interest. I ask a lot of questions. I want to know the history, and I want to know how I can help. And so, people respond very well to that.
So, and with that, like, understanding your history and going with an open heart, man, like, even looking at your, like, your family line and where you come from, like, what does your family line look like as far as native, like, and on up to today? Like, what is your
Yeah, so growing up, I always heard that my great grandmother was Indian. She was right there in the household with us. Obviously an identifiably Black woman.
Yeah.
But once I got into my early 20s, and it's crazy because some families have people that are, that are like me. They'll tell you the history. They'll coach you up the way I do my kids.
Yeah.
But we really didn't get a lot of education about who we were in terms of our native ancestry. And so I am a by blood Chickasaw member, of the Chickasaw Nation. I represent for the descent. I'm a descendant of freedmen as well.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it's interesting because I get to advocate for the Black people locked out of the tribe from the inside of the tribe. Wow. And so that's part of the Young Black Mayor as well. I've had private meetings with the governor and stuff.
That's dope,
about
man.
the Black history of the tribe.
Yeah.
And so, nobody has ever really, and I don't want to say nobody because typically my point of view is coming from mainstream or entertainment or trends.
I agree.
And so all of the hard work and research that many of people that have come before me have done, it wasn't really put out there on social media, or you can't find it, or you have to be in a scholarly community or environment to get that info. So I'm about bringing that into the trend.
I mean, man, because you think differently, and I respect the fact that you do, and you're hungry to learn, but you're also hungry to teach at the same time too. What do you think that you got that hunger to do this from? Like, who built this up?
It's got to be a natural thing.
Yeah?
Just natural.
I mean, you ain't got no uncles that was like, man, sit down, let me talk to you, like breaking stuff down to you. You know what I mean?
Nah.
Really?
Especially not on no history.
Okay.
Nah, not at all. Not on no history. One of my older cousins now, it took me becoming an adult for us to really start hitting it off like that. But we'll talk for hours. I was talking to him yesterday. My cousin Ray down in Lawton.
Dope.
But other than that, growing up, I didn't have that.
Okay,
I didn't have that.
Yeah. So, I mean, because I'm interested just in your history and just like where you come from, knowing your family history, and a lot of people don't know their family history, and the challenge is not knowing where to start to find, even as a freedman, because you may be out of a system to where you can't really understand and find details.
Right.
But like, what would you recommend to people that want to know more about like their family history and those aspects? Like, what would you recommend?
Yes. Start by any elders that you have in your family that can still, communicate any of the past to you. Learn as much of it as you can. Write it down.
Yeah.
And if you can, if they allow you to, record them. Record those conversations. So any grandparents, great aunts and uncles, anything like that, begin to speak to them. Ask those questions, simple questions: where we're from, where were our people at, were we slaves, were we slave masters?
Yeah.
Any war that you study, your people were doing something at that point in time. They maybe were involved in the war. So always ask, did we have any family members that served in the military? Again, the veterans. That's always important. And there's always a lot of documentation around that, so we can trace our history that way.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Shout out to the veterans.
Yeah, man. So again, man, to the veterans that are out there, if you are wanting to get connected and by riding motorcycles is your thing, your form of communicate or form of just recreation or camaraderie with people, man, you definitely want to hook up with this organization. The 13 Blacktown tour is actually happening, and the first day is September the 2nd, and you definitely want to connect. Now tell us how people can actually get connected, find out more information like today.
Yeah, so you can go to our website, www.13blacktownstour.com. That's the number 13, 13blacktownstour.com. You can call us directly, 833-344-TOUR. That's 8687, 833-344-8687, or tour. Just punch in tour. You can hit us directly. We can answer any questions. Most of everything should be available on the website.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, just feel free to call us. The 13 Black Towns Tour is open to everyone. So if there's veterans that are driving in their automobiles, they can come. And so that's what has taken place. This is the first year that we have opened it up to people that don't ride motorcycles. And so it has expanded into the 13 Black Towns Tour.
Cool.
But we still have the Black Towns Motorcycle Tour in the middle. It takes place over the weekend.
Now, this tour is actually hosted by Darius Love. Help people to understand who Darius Love is if they don't know him by his name.
Yeah, Darius Love. He is a longtime Hollywood actor. He was the first black kid on Nickelodeon. He was on The Secret World of Alex Mack for about 5 seasons, or 5 years, actually. However, he played Mondo in the movie Janky Promoters alongside Ice Cube and Mike Epps. And so Darius Love, he's had major roles, 30 years in Hollywood, and he is a great big advocate for the reestablishment of the black towns and settlements on the ground on a national level. And so we're working in the same area, and so we kind of hit it off real well. And he's ready to really dive into Oklahoma's black towns and bring the resources, see how he can help us out here to get to where we're trying to go.
Oh, man. So, you definitely want to be a part of this and connected to the 13 Black Town Tours that's actually happening. And it's open to anybody. Again, and I see that you also have performing artists. Like, how does that work out? Like, you have your performing artists. Like, where are they going to be performing at?
Yeah, so people should definitely understand that what we have established here is a traveling festival that's going between the black towns. So when we pull up, it's festivities taking place. And the goal is for these festivities to take place 24/7, even as my group leaves these towns over the course of time, over the course of the next few years or whatever. And so the fact that it's festival and the fact that it's black towns and entertainment and media, the artists are just starving to be able to pour in and do their part.
That's dope.
And do what was taking place in the 70s with Flip Wilson and Sammy Davis Jr. and Red Fox, using their star power to gain non-traditional attention on these towns. All three of them served as honorary police chiefs.
Oh, wow.
For Langston, Bowley, and Taft.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the black towns were frequented by many stars and celebrities back in the day, before my time. And so I'm just trying to get us back there, man. So the artists are ready. They need to know their own history first and foremost.
True.
That's why we can bring we have the power and the ability and the talent to bring the whole industry right here to us in Oklahoma. And I believe that.
This is a big feat, especially for Oklahoma, man. Now, like, there are a lot of ties with the Ku Klux Klan and just like a whole bunch of other organizations that are out there that don't necessarily want to see black men win, men and just black families in general. So it takes a lot of courage to do this, man. Like, have you ever come to a point, and what's your thought process on fear and actually making this a statewide thing, man? Like, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, the only fear to fear is fear. So if you have no fear, you just move
freely.
Exactly. It's so many people that came before me, man, that paved the way for us. We're in a new day and age. MLK, Malcolm X, and Barack Obama. I look at them, and the least I could do is not worry about what's going to happen to me. You know what I'm saying? And we just go for it, man. It's just like purpose. I don't feel anything. I just make it happen.
Just doing it.
Absolutely. No fear.
Because I think that's a challenge for a lot of people, in like a Tulsa, Oklahoma. Like, you made it a hush-hush type thing to where now you're just now 100 years later discovering bodies in certain areas. And to know that, like, there are some people that may be upset with this happening, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And to know that you're just working in your purpose, and you know this is what God has you to do, and the ancestors are, surrounding you and supporting you to do the work that you're doing today. So
Absolutely.
it's very important for people to know, like, about fear and just approaching and working towards your particular goal daily, man.
Yeah, you gotta have no fear, man.
Yeah.
You gotta have no fear. There's not enough of us that are fearless enough.
True.
To step out and lead the movement in whatever part of their purpose, it is. It's not for everybody to do what I'm doing or for me to do what other people are doing.
Yeah.
And so the importance of knowing that also makes me to be able to move fearless. Like, if I don't do it, who's going to do it? Nobody has kind of stepped up, and I had to learn all of this stuff on my own.
True.
Yeah.
So true, man. And I applaud you, just for the work that you're doing, man. Like, you're not doing this for a check. You're not doing it for, you just really want to help support and educate people, man. And it's just like, you got to support that. So
absolutely,
I love that. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to get a little bit of water and also talk a little bit more about the final celebration. There is a final celebration that is happening. We're going to talk more about the final celebration and where you can be a part of that. One of my favorite artists that I like is a part of this, and you'll find out who that is, man. All of that and more is coming up next.
Searching for ways to grow your business? Or perhaps you would like to invest in Tulsa's African American community? The Black Wall Street Chamber of Commerce is a great place to start. The Chamber was created to serve and increase the visibility of needs in our community. It is an umbrella organization for local businesses, the Tulsa Juneteenth Festival, BWS Black Women in Business, and the Grassroots Economic Development Fund known as BWS The Power Group. For more information about the Black Wall Street Chamber of Commerce or to donate to the Power Group, visit bwschamber.com.
P&J Publishing Incorporated announces a new book release, The Entrepreneurial Woman. The World is Your Playground by Angela K. Chambers, MES. Available right now for pre-order at payhip.com/B/NB_A_C. The book release is set to hit June 1st, 2020. If you're ready to publish your book, visit us online at www.pnjpublishing.com. Unleash that book that's inside of you with P&J Publishing.
Everybody's talking about you and her together.
Hello, Tulsa. This is Janetta Toles with Sunday Dinner and More by Janet, your weekend soul spot. Every Saturday and Sunday from 11 a.m. until 4 p.m. We're located 531 East Apache in the historic Apache Circle Center. Of course, during these times, it's carry-out only, but you can call 918-951-5143. That's Sunday Dinner and More by Janet.
How to order chicken wings. Number 1, find a good wing spot.
I know a wing spot, Max Wings.
Number 2, decide if you want a combo or if you want to order a la carte.
Huh? What's that?
Well, combos come with chicken, veggie sticks, fries, and a drink for a discounted price. A la carte means that you order each item separately.
Okay.
3, decide if you want bone-in, boneless, or cauliflower wings, and then determine the delicious flavor you want on your wings.
I didn't even know cauliflower had wings.
You learn something new every day. Have you been to Max Wings?
Yep.
Max Wings is located at 782 East Pine Street in Tulsa. We're open Monday through Thursday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. and on Friday and Saturday from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Come to Max Wings, home of the dry rub fries.
Tulsa Transit is excited to introduce the Route 969 Workforce Express Network. The new Highway 169 Corridor Job Shuttle, WEN, is a fixed route service offering access from North Tulsa and Turley. Stops include Macy's, Amazon, Whirlpool, and Port of Catoosa. Save time and money when you ride the WEN Route 969. And for your protection, buses are cleaned daily. Visit tulsatransit.org for more details.
Welcome to KBOB 89.9 FM. Hey, check us out online at KBOB899.com. And also, you can check us on YouTube at KBOB 899. Just type in KBOB 899 and find out all about our shows by going to our website, www.kbob899.com. Man, we have some phenomenal shows here, from jazz to 70s music to talk, women's talk. I mean, every form of communication of things that is your life, like we try to get all in. We try to get all in your business, but not share it, but just talk about all of our community as a whole, man. And so we're just so excited that you could be joining us here, right here on Left, Right, Left Radio Show. Now, I did want to tell everybody about an event that is happening here in Tulsa. Actually, this Saturday is happening at 36th Street Event Center. From 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It is happening right here in Tulsa. So if you have any unique needs, any special needs, children and families, we want to make sure that we look out for all of our families that have special needs. It can vary on so many levels on what all you go through and deal with. So we have resources available for you out there at 36th Street Event Center. Once again, it's 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. this Saturday. So make sure that you are all about being there, all right? So again, man, it is such an honor and a pleasure to have a good friend here. He has the 13 Black Towns Tour Traveling Festival. Now, this is something I've never heard of before, a traveling festival. So this is unique to me. So I'm learning as I go, and I'm even just learning about Oklahoma history. And if I would go to anybody to Oklahoma history, it's maybe only two people, and of course, the young black mayor that's here with me today would be one of them for sure, man. So we're talking about the 13 Black Town Tours. Now, there's going to be a final celebration in Tatum's, Oklahoma. Now, why Tatum's, Oklahoma, of all places?
Oh, well, that's the place that I'm most comfortable. That's home. Tatum is home. Yeah. And again, it's the only black town really left in the southern part of the state. Okay. And so we had to just end it there. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be a great, great celebration, though.
What is Tatum's, Oklahoma like, man? What do you feel, the vibes there that you feel?
Yeah, the vibe is relaxed.
Cool.
Real sublime.
Okay.
Just like all the rest of the black towns.
Yeah.
Probably sometimes when I say black towns and people that don't know about them, they just think, thriving towns, traffic, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But these towns are very much rural and country atmospheres. So the vibe is always laid, kick back.
So do you ride horses? Like, are you a farm type dude, or?
Yeah, so it's crazy. I never really got into that when I was a kid. All my cousins, phenomenal horse riders, all of that.
Yeah.
And so I just didn't really get into horses. I don't really trust horses for one.
Man, I got on a horse one time and one backed up to me and he tried to kick. I was like, all right, I'm good, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Straight.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I'm good. So, Tatum's, Oklahoma is near and dear to your heart, and you brought out all the stops. You're bringing Charlie Boy, one of my favorite artists, singer, rapper, just like all around great guy. And also Big Turk's car and bike show is happening there as well. Talk a little bit about the final celebration and what that looks like to you and for everybody else.
Yeah, so the final celebration, from Thursday up in Langston, we're going to have a big cool table talk and kickback. We're going to talk about land ownership, and Darius Love is going to speak to us about resources he can bring in. And I want to touch on this, especially with when it comes to what can we do with the land we have in our possession. Because most of us don't know. We just been paying big mama taxes, and we know just don't ever sell it.
Yeah.
But there's something that we can do with this land for us and retain it.
Okay.
And so from Thursday all the way till Sunday, we're going to be going through all the towns. And when we pull into Tatum for the final celebration, we are celebrating all of the towns.
Yeah.
And so we will pull into Big Turk hosting a car show. He's known for the shows from Ardmore all the way up to Kansas. And probably ain't no telling where else.
Yeah.
But that's Big Turk Prince.
Dope.
He's going to be hosting a car show for the town. We will have the parade as well.
Okay.
So we're going to pull into a parade. So if you have horses,
bring them on.
Bring the horses on out. Everybody's welcome, to be a part of this.
Yeah.
And so we'll be celebrating all the towns. After the parade, we will have the concert on my family's estate, on a private estate there on our property. And Charlie Boy, I've had a long time relationship with Charlie Boy.
Yeah.
And so if I bring an artist, it's because they are invested in Oklahoma and they want to be here. They're not just coming
for the check.
For the check.
Yeah.
And so Charlie Boy, phenomenal. I couldn't think of anybody better to bring.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you can name them.
He's
Name the biggest
humble.
artist. There's nobody better to bring
Yeah.
than Charlie Boy.
That's true, man.
He
That's
has
true.
the same background, just on the Texas side.
Yeah,
from the country.
Now, what were Black Townships like in Texas? Like, is it the same kind of like thing that's going on?
Yeah. So, just as you hear that, there were multiple Black Wall Streets. Black towns were everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I know of over 200 Black towns in settlements nationwide,
Wow.
in different states. And so, it's really about tapping into, that Black town and that identity, that self-governance nearest to you.
Yeah.
Especially when I say move Black,
Mm-hmm.
which is a play on the words move back.
Yeah.
It's the majority of us is not going to be able to conceptualize in their mind moving back to what seems like the country.
Yeah, true.
But if you think of a blank canvas in which you can build, and what already belongs to you to build on, then we're really going somewhere that we really, probably can't imagine. You're talking about Wakanda, like this is real. This is not fictional. What I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And so I'm not even sure what we was talking
But
about.
when you say moving back to the Black towns, you got your convenience store that only sells like gizzards and egg rolls and stuff. I mean, like, but what is it that people are moving to town to do? Like, as far as business.
So you're moving Black,
okay,
because it's the only solution to the war that's against us.
Gotcha.
You understand?
Gotcha.
The Black towns had people like Bass Reeves.
Mm-hmm.
When we were the police, you know that?
Yeah.
U.S. Deputy Marshal.
Yeah.
Or Deputy U.S. Marshal, however you want to say it.
Yeah.
We were in complete control of our communities.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're not going to oppress ourselves.
True.
And so when we think of, I don't have to go down the list of names,
mm-hmm.
From Trayvon Martin to
mm-hmm.
Eric Garner.
Yeah.
Those situations just would never have happened in a Black town.
True.
And that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that's kind of one of the only viable solutions other than, what legislation we can work to get passed over the next 200 years.
Yeah. And so I did want to ask you this question because marriages are different now. Like there are people that are Black, married to white people and white people vice versa. And all cultures, not just only white, but when you say move Black, like, are you open to other cultures being a part of that community?
So the educational component of it, when I say move Black,
mm-hmm.
There's three ways.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mental movement, it's a physical movement,
mm-hmm.
and then it's just an everyday priority.
Yeah.
You don't have to be Black
right
to move with that mindset. And
mm-hmm.
that's the special thing about the history of the Black towns.
Mm-hmm.
They are the greatest example of self-governance, no matter what race you are.
True.
In terms of owning, capitalizing on what belongs to you, what you have in your possession, and making it work, creating that sustainability.
Yeah.
So just the way that I study the Indian nations,
mm-hmm.
the way that we study the 13 colonies,
mm-hmm.
our founding fathers, it's really no different.
Yeah.
But the stigmatism that's attached to Black makes it that way.
True.
That's more the reason I have to get out here and speak about it.
Yeah.
And even when we say all Black, historically all Black, these Black towns were created out of love.
Mm-hmm.
Love and preservation for Black people,
mm-hmm.
not out of hatred for not allowing other people to be there. Because we couldn't be among other people because there was so much violence and racism against us.
True.
So they're the greatest example of self-love and protection.
Mm-hmm.
And, the perception is the complete opposite. And when you say all Black, some people just want to think, oh, it's nobody else allowed there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's not the case, but this is a history.
Yeah.
And even the Black towns were sundown towns in some regards when it came to if you're not friendly with the Black community. You had to be gone by sundown too. Yeah. So it's just a lot of information out that's not out there, and some clarifying that needs to be done, and some teaching
for sure.
And so that's all it is about. It's no worries. It's not a new racial movement.
Right.
A new movement of peace and love. And education.
Absolutely. So, and you got your role partner with you today. So, we got to give a big shout out to her.
Yeah, shout out to Kaden.
Kaden is here with us
my
today.
Young queen, she just turned 13.
Nice.
Visiting from way up north.
Y'all see her on the couch. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see her on the couch over here, like way over there. So we want to say what's up to Kaden.
Yeah, shout out to everybody. All the rest of my children.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to my wife.
Yeah.
My family, my grandmother been rolling with us. She just didn't come up to Tulsa with us.
Okay.
But, I'm very family oriented, and that's the important thing, and everybody's family in the Black towns.
Yeah.
Everybody's family in general.
Well,
and so
let me ask you this. So, I mean, because you have a different perspective of family, when you were younger, did you have such a tight knit understanding of family, and like, were you always just family oriented?
we did.
Okay.
But it's because of the Black town.
Yeah.
So, like, our family estate, our home right now, probably most of everybody in the family will call it Granny's. Granny passed in the 90s. But that's Granny's.
That's Granny's still.
And so,
yeah.
We had that place to go, no matter what was going on in our family, in whatever city we were living in. And so that's why I know and I stress the importance of Black towns. Because when I explained being a kid there, as I became an adult, I would say, well, it felt like we owned the place.
Yeah.
And now it's because we did own the place.
Literally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so as kids, my favorite place to be. And so we were very tight knit in a sense of just being among each other and having that solid foundation to be no matter what was going through in your household.
Yeah.
And so my immediate family was a few different generations put together, not just first cousins. And it's because of the Black towns, because of our family estate, which is not a state in a sense of being rich and big, but wealthy and rich in family and ownership and self-governance.
I love that.
Yeah.
So to talk a little bit more just about veterans in your family, like, are you aware of any people that served in the military of any sort or on the police force of any sort?
Yeah, absolutely. In my family. Yeah, we know about everybody that served in the military in our family. Again, my cousin Ray, he left and went to the Marine Corps when he was 19, coming out of Oklahoma. So lots of stories about that time frame. He was born in 55.
Wow.
Wow. And so I explain a lot of youth. The history is not that far away from here.
True.
And so, we get into the Buffalo Soldiers, even with that history aside from the motorcycle riding. It's tied very deeply to Oklahoma.
So explain that a little bit.
For the veterans, the Buffalo Soldiers were the most phenomenal soldiers and men, Black men in service to the United States in American history. You know what I mean? What really earned them, the work that really earned them the moniker Buffalo Soldiers took place in their early years in Oklahoma.
Oh, wow.
So 1866 is when slavery was over in Indian Territory. There was a lot of squatters on the land. There was a lot of outlaws robbing wagon trains that was passing through the territory. And the Buffalo Soldiers were tasked with the job of protecting, the territory, protecting the people coming through. They were also helped to allow the tribes that were being placed in Oklahoma, they couldn't move as far west because of being attacked by Plains tribes, other tribes like the Comanches that come in and attack the Chickasaws, who were really from the east. Real deep history. And the Buffalo Soldiers were right in the middle.
Wow.
They had the hardest job.
Yeah.
They had the worst equipment. You know what I mean? And they made it happen.
Yeah.
And that's what earned them the name through the Native Americans because of their woolly hair. They compared them to the Buffalo Soldiers.
Wow.
To the buffalo and the strength and everything that the buffalo represented to Native Americans. It was a respect that they put on those soldiers when they called them Buffalo Soldiers.
And one thing that I do appreciate about you, man, is that you are you educate your children on that as well. Like, and we're just talking generationally, like now in family. So how is it that you teach your children? Like, what do you do to educate your children in the mindset as a teacher, like not going overboard and letting them be a kid, but still giving them the education of where they are and who they are?
Yeah, they're going to think you overboard even if you say a little bit because they're so used to, technology and stuff.
True.
But you just have to be consistent.
Yeah.
I sometimes fall off with my consistency and you got to keep at it.
Yeah.
Talk to them about a little bit at a time. Also, and this is for anybody learning history and any history teachers. The first thing we're supposed to learn when we step into a history class is about our own history. So always show them how it pertains to them. Ask them about them in history or who they are, where they are. It's self-identity education.
Yeah.
That's when it becomes interesting. when it's about you.
Yeah.
Okay, George Washington was doing that. But
Right.
where was my people at?
Right.
That's what's
during the
smart to get
time of
absolutely, because we hardly ever think about.
That's true.
You know, we
That's
think
true.
aunties or grandma, big mama.
Yeah, but
what about her mama's mama?
True.
You're like, that's your family.
Yeah,
they was working for you.
For you to be here, you had to survive through somebody's lineage.
They were working hard. They were, at battle to set it up for you to be kicked back with all this new technology.
Yeah, man.
And so that's how you can spark them to learn more and to stay interested and then learn their own personal interests. My daughter Kaden, her favorite subject is history. Her favorite hobby is reading.
Wow.
And so I'm lucky.
Yeah.
But all the rest of them, they like the rest of the kids.
Yeah, for sure, man. So the 13 Blacktown Tours is happening starting September the 2nd, and it's going through September the 5th. And we're gonna have a final celebration. Tatum, Oklahoma is having a final celebration. Darius Love is gonna be joining us. He's if you may have seen the movie Janky Promoters, he was Mondo on Janky Promoters. And Big Turk is having a car and bike show in that same spot. And T Oki, is it T Oki?
Yeah, so we having a parade.
Okay.
Now we didn't have the T Oki convention, which we normally do.
Gotcha.
4th of July.
Okay.
So we're gonna have the T Oki parade, or just a parade if you want to leave the T Oki off. But we have typically we have a big parade on the odd number year, and it's supposed to go down this year. So we're gonna have it Labor Day weekend.
So what is Tatum? Yeah. I get that, but why that?
Okay, so T Oki, it just means Tatum's Oklahoma, or Tatum's Oki, and that's the name of our convention to celebrate the town. It's semi-annual, and it's been going on for over 50 years.
Wow.
And so
what is that like? Like, what do they do
that's
there?
Everybody coming home
to
celebrate. We have the parade. It takes place during the 4th of July weekend. And so we just celebrate, freedom, essentially, in the black town of Tatum's. And so just a big homecoming is what it is.
Man, I'm glad you said that word. So freedom looks different to a lot of people, man. And people say that, and they struggle with the word freedom. So, like, if you could talk about the word freedom, and do you think that we as a black people have freedom and have ever seen freedom in the United States? Like, how do you feel about the word freedom?
Yeah, so we saw the most freedom living in the black town.
Yeah.
Bottom line, when we were left alone. But the word freedom, for me, it means the end of systemic racism. That's what freedom means for me.
Okay.
And notice I said systemic racism, because prejudice is always going to be around. But we can kill the racism within our system, our American system.
Yeah.
But just free to live and thrive and have what is in the Constitution.
Yeah.
What we supposed to have, the rights that we're supposed to have.
There you go.
That's what freedom should be for everyone.
Yeah.
But it definitely looks a little different. Freedom for me could be never working the job for somebody else.
Yeah.
But you have people that want to go to work for somebody else. They're not, entrepreneurs or business owners. So many different versions of freedom. But when we talking freedom and we're talking our people, we talking about freedom of oppression.
Yeah.
Especially economic oppression. And so that's what being free is. When we're able to be taken care of the way we're supposed to. And it's going to be up to us to do it ourselves. That's what freedom is, and that's what we're working towards with Move Black in the Black Towns.
No doubt, man. You making it happen. I mean, I love the fact that you're putting in the work, you're doing the time, and that you have a whole vision, and you're bringing people together, and it's not just about you, and just your four and no more, man. So what I love about it is that you are literally connecting with people and making things happen, and you have a bigger picture and vision. And so make sure you join them. And the final celebration is going to be 646 Ada Hook Street in Tatum's, Oklahoma, man. Tatum just sound like a dope town, like just family, man.
Yeah, Tatum's is dope.
Yeah.
And all the black towns are. We got phenomenal deep histories. Man, they were shooting movies in these black towns, silent films.
Really?
In the 19-teens and the 20s.
Wow.
So most definitely deep history.
Yeah.
Real good stuff, man.
That's
so much
dope.
culture. That's where our culture is.
Yeah.
And
so what do you just go? Do you Google stuff, or like do you got a library that you go to as far as just your history?
My library. I got a library.
Oh, you do?
It's
okay.
At the crib.
All right.
Yeah, my library is pretty deep.
Yeah.
But go to estate sales.
I
started my history, my collection of history books by going to estate sales.
Wow.
And people they let books go for super cheap.
Yeah.
We we definitely undervalue books.
Wow, yeah.
But I do have my own library, and I just try to get any books that can help me further my knowledge.
Yeah.
And so I've got curriculums coming.
Word.
It's hard to piece all of this stuff together. I did it over a decade.
Yeah.
But I have curriculums to put people on exactly what they need.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's dope.
It's coming pretty soon.
That's dope. One more time, tell people how they can purchase tickets and get connected with 13 Black Town Tour.
Yeah, 13blacktowns.tour.com. That's the number 13 Black Towns with an S tour. Blacktowns.tour.com. You can get tickets or passes to the Black Towns Motorcycle Tour. You can get passes for all of the individual events that are happening over the course of the weekend, or you can just get past, a good cheap one-time fee will cover everything.
Yeah,
you don't pay like 3 or 4 times more if you don't just get the one thing. So but 833-344-TOUR. You can call us directly at 833-344-TOUR or go to the website. Also, I'm on all major social media at Young Black Mayor. Young Black Mayor. Really go to my Instagram. I really teach a lot on my Instagram Reels. So I give a lot of information about Oklahoma and just Black history on a day-to-day basis on my Instagram Reels. So follow
this man on Instagram, man. Like he just throws gut punches, man. Like he tells it like it is, and I appreciate the fact that he's straight up, man. He's authentic, and you always got to appreciate authentic folks, man.
Yeah. I'm walking in this, so it's easy to do it every day when it's what you do. So I just had to learn how to pull the camera out, and tell them what's on my mind.
No doubt. Yeah. So any lasting words out to the people that you want them to stick with? Any words you want to stick with them and letting them know about what you have going on and just motivation as well.
Yes, we have 13 Black Wall Streets that still exist in Oklahoma that we are not doing anything with. Okay.
Yeah.
Black Towns is where Black people attain the highest level of freedom since we've been in America. We have to get back to that, at least in a mental capacity, knowing it. That way we can recreate it where we're at, or we can move back to the Black towns that exist.
Yeah.
And we have to move Black on a day-to-day basis. That means just investing in us. And so that's what it is. Move Black, the Black Town Freedom Movement.
No doubt. Words from the Young Black Mayor right there himself, man. So veterans, those that aren't veterans, hey, man, just participate, get educated. If you're part of another culture, man, just get educated, find out what's going on and understand, more about the 13 Black Towns tour that's happening here in Oklahoma, and just to, give yourself that knowledge that you need. And I think it's very important, man. I've seen him do the work, and I see him do the work on a consistent basis. So I definitely put my stamp on my guy, man, just to say, he's solid. So definitely go to the website, www.13blacktowns.tour.com. That's the number 13, and also put a S on towns, and make sure you get connected. So, man, of course, man, thank you for driving. He drove, where'd you come from?
Man, I'm always driving. I drove from Oklahoma City today.
Okay,
but it's not a problem to come in here and be with you, bro. I really appreciate you having me on. You're phenomenal in your own right.
Appreciate it.
And when you heard about me, I learned about you in that moment. And then I really heard your investment to our people. And so I have no problem driving up here to chop it up with you.
No doubt, man. Thank you so much. All right, y'all. Hey, thank you for joining us here on Right, Left Radio Show. Again, make sure you go to our website at KBOB 89.9.com. Find out more information on what's going on with KBOB. Hey, we are global. We are worldwide. People calling us from all over the world. People from overseas are reaching out to us, man. So we're so excited that you can be a part of our KBOB family and all of the great shows that we have here. And once again, I got to let you know about the Back to School Bash happening. It's a drive-through Saturday, August the 21st, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. for children with special needs, unique needs, and families. Hey, make sure you join us this Saturday, 36th Street Event Center. 36th Street North Event Center is 1125 East 36th Street North, Tulsa, Oklahoma, 74106, man. Hey, thank you so much for joining us here on our show, Left, Right, Left Radio Show. For all of our veterans, thank you once again for all of your service and dedication to our community, man. We appreciate you so much. And of course, man, I want to thank my guy, Young Black Mayor, for joining us here on our radio show. And of course, we'll have more details on any and everything that is going on right here, man. So again, thank you for joining us right here on our radio show. We got the juice radio show actually coming up next, and you definitely want to be a part of what they got going on, man, because it's always official, all right? Hey, this your boy Ramon, Hometown Heat, and we'll catch you again next Thursday. We're going to be here and having fun with Brother Bear, Misty Von B, and so much more, man. So thank you for joining us right here on KBOB 89.9 FM. We're going to leave you with some George McCrae. We throwing it back. Rock your baby right here.
Woman, take me in your arms, rock the baby. Woman, take me in your arms, rock the baby. There's nothing to it, just say you want to do it. Open up your heart and let the loving start. Woman, take me in your arms, rock the baby. Woman, take me in your arms, rock the baby. Yeah. Hold me tight with all your might. Now let your love flow real sweet and slow. Woman, take me in your arms, rock the baby. Woman, take me in your arms, rock the baby.